Hello everyone, this is another interesting time with ACS Online Maths tutorial. In today's video we'll be looking at this topic on the board, trigonometric ratio of a right angle triangle. In the previous video that I released, I told you what trigonometry means, and I told you that trigonometry, let me just refresh your memory on that. It's just a concept that has to do with angles and the side of the triangle. Now here we'll be talking about a trigonometric ratio precisely on a right angle triangle, right? So here we'll be considering these ratios. We'll be looking at sine. We have opposite over hypotenuse. We have cos. We have what? Adjacent over what? Hypotenuse. We have another one, tan. This is what? Opposite over adjacent. Now, how did I come about this? Now, when I'm talking about trigonometric ratio here, we are particular about right angle triangle. Right angle triangle is a triangle that one of the interior angles is angle 90 degrees. This is a right angle triangle. Why? Because one of the interior angles, angle that is inside the triangle, is 90 degrees. Now, for identification purposes, whenever the angle 90 is pointing, is the hypotenuse. Now, it's called what? The hypotenuse. Now, if you represent this place as let me say 45, wherever the angle is pointing will be the what? Opposite. Now the remaining side will now be the adjacent. Let me identify another one for clarity purposes. If I draw something like this, let me draw something like this. Look at this one. And I say, let me say that this place is 60, that you should identify. This is where the angle 90 is. It's pointing like this. This place should be the what? The hypotenuse. Let me represent it as height. Now, this place the angle is pointing should be what? The opposite. Now, the remaining side will now be the adjacent. Let me change the shape again to know whether you can identify it. What if it looks like this? And then we have here as what? Let me say 40. And they say you should identify the opposite hypotenuse and adjacent. Here is where this thing is pointing, it will be the hypotenuse. Now this angle is pointing like this. This place should be the opposite. Then the remaining side will now be the adjacent. Now, with this, let me just give you one example and solve. Or one or two examples and solve to show you how to calculate any of the sides that you are required to calculate. Take for instance that you are asked to find, they draw something like this. Don't mind my drawing please. And they say that this place is X. And you are given this place as, let me say 8. And you are told that this place is 45. I say find X. How do you solve this kind of question? Number one is identify the one that is the opposite. Identify the hypotenuse. Identify your adjacent. And you can solve this. Looking at this thing now, what do you do? Very simple. Now here is where we will need to find. We need to identify first. This angle is pointing here. That means here is what? Our hypotenuse. Now this angle is pointing here. That means here is our what? Opposite. Now the remaining side will be the adjacent. Now how do I know which of these trigonometric ratios to use in solving this question that is given? How to know it? You know it is by what? look at what you are asked. What you are asked is to find x. You are asked to find x and you are given 8. Right? So what you need to do is to what? Write out your 8 and write out your x. Just be watching me. Now, write out your 8 and write out your x. So now, this is x. X is what? Hypotenuse. Just be watching me. I'm showing you something. 8 is what? Adjacent. Because this place I marked it as my adjacent. This angle is pointing here. This angle 90 hypotenuse. This angle that is given opposite. Then the remaining side is adjacent. So you are given this one and you are finding here. This is our adjacent. Right? Now, come back to our ratio that you are given and look at all these ratios. Check the one that has adjacent and hypotenuse. That will tell you which formula to use. You will look at this one. Opposite, hypotenuse. We are not using it. Adjacent, hypotenuse. This is the one we use. Because this one is what? Opposite, adjacent. The one that has adjacent and hypotenuse is only this one. So we'll use, sorry, this place should have theta. There should be angle here, theta, right? So now what we're going to do is that we say what? That cos theta equal to what? Adjacent what? Over hypotenuse. That will be cos what? This angle 45 equal to what? Adjacent. That is 8. 8 divided by x. That is the x we are looking for, right? Now, what do? You may just say cross over 1. You cross multiply. X will be times cos 45. 8 will be times 1. What do? You just say x. Be careful at this point. When x is multiplying a trigonometric, maybe trigonometric ratio, maybe something like cos or sine or whatever, maybe tan, the number or the value, whatever, it should be at the back of this thing. It should not be at the front. Because if you write cos 45x, it means that the x is part of the angle, but it should be at the back. It's not part of the angle. It should be cos 45 equal to 8 times 1 is what? 8, right? Now, I now say cos 45. Let me bring in my calculator. Now, cos 45 will give us what? Will give us x equal to, cos 45 is, will give us 0.7071 equal to what? 8. Let's continue from here. That would be what? You can now say x equal to 8 divided by 0.7071. X will be equal to, this thing dividing 8 will give us what? It will give us x equal to 11.3. That means 11.3 is the answer for this. I didn't put a side. It can be cm, so we can say cm here. Now, I hope you understood through to this point. Okay, let me cite one more example and we are done with this. Let's say, let me just clean this, wipe this place and change this question. So a little bit, just a little change, and let's solve and see what it's going to be. Now, take for instance, let's continue with this one. Let me change it a little bit. Let me just say it like this. I'll put the x here now. And I say find x. Mind you, before the x was here, find x. What do we do? Look at it. We still identify our side. What do you do? If you identify our side, this place is pointing here, like where the angle 90 is pointing is still our hypotenuse, right? Where this angle is pointing is still our what? Opposite. Now the remaining side is adjacent. Now, how do you know which of the trigonometric ratios to use in solving this problem? How you know it is by, look at it. Let's write out what they want us to find and the one that is given. They gave us 8. And that 8 they gave us is what? Adjacent. Let me just put adjacent on top. They want us to find x. And that x side is what? Opposite. X, that is opposite. Now, how do you know which of the trigonometric ratios to apply? You come back here. Adjacent and opposite. Look at all these things. Which one has adjacent and opposite? This one is opposite hypotenuse. We are not using it. This one, adjacent hypotenuse. We are not using it. This one is opposite adjacent. That is the one we use because here is opposite and adjacent. So this one has opposite, it also has adjacent. We use tan theta. That would be now tan what? 45 equal to what? Equal to what? 8 divided by what? That is opposite now. Opposite is our x, right? X divided by what? 8. That would be, you can now cross multiply. It will be 8. This in times is tan 45 equal to what? X. It's the same thing as saying x equal to 8 tan 45. Then we can now just say, pressing our calculator straight, 8 tan 45 will give us 8. 8 tan 45 will give us 8 because tan 45 is 1. So it will give us 8. It's should I write CM? That is very, very good. Thank you very much. If you follow me through to this point, you are doing yourself good. I really appreciate it. This is a ACS online maths tutorial where we make mathematical problems easy. If you want to encourage me, I would beg of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, share the video. It is a way of encouraging me to make more videos. And also, anytime I release a new video, you will see my video firsthand. Please subscribe to encourage me. And also, if you have any problem or question you want to ask or contribution or anything you want to comment, you can go to the comment section and drop your comments. In my convenient time, I'll try to review it and get back to you. If it is maybe a suggestion or anything, you can just comment there. Thank you so much.